a shocking statistic even for me, a gastroenterologist. Up to 84% of people on GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or Zepbound, they get gut symptoms. And almost no one is told what exactly to do about them. So, let me tell you the first thing every patient needs to hear. Those symptoms aren't the drug going wrong. That's actually proof that the drug is working. I'm going to show you why, but more importantly, I'm going to give you the 5 things I tell every patient to do about it. Through the years, I've cared for a lot of people who set out to lose weight. Look, this is a common thing in the world. The problem is, when they reached for these medications, they felt miserable. One pattern that I've seen time and again, someone starts one of these medications or even just steps up to a higher dose and boom, bloated, nauseous, haven't had a normal bowel movement in days or weeks. The weight hasn't really moved yet, but they feel awful. And the advice that they usually get is, oh, well, that's normal. Just give it time. That advice, I'm not saying it's wrong. The symptoms are common, and for a lot of people, they will eventually ease up. But that's also not really a plan. It doesn't really help you in the moment. I want you to have a plan. So there's a playbook that makes those weeks livable, and I'm going to share it with you today. These drugs, whether it be Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or Zepbound, they're called GLP-1 medications. And the way they work is actually by slowing down your gut. That slowdown is actually the point. A slower stomach means you feel full faster and longer. But your gut is one long tube. And it's quite amazing because it's wired together in a way that makes so much sense. GLP-1 medicines are known to slow stomach emptying. But if you slow the top, you slow the bottom too. A slow stomach translates into nausea and fullness. And a slow colon, well, that results in constipation. Both ends end up getting this. Unfortunately, the discomfort is just the same slowdown reaching the other end of the tube. And these symptoms are so common. A 2025 review in the Annals of Internal Medicine pooled 26 trials and more than 15,000 people. Gut symptoms showed up in 47 to 84% of users. Most often nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. You already make GLP-1 yourself in response to what you eat. And one of the biggest triggers for GLP-1 production is fiber. When you eat fiber, your gut microbes ferment it into short-chain fatty acids, and they tell your gut to release your own natural GLP-1. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to claim that eating fiber is the same as taking Ozempic. That would be crazy. GLP-1 drugs provide sustained hormones at levels that the body would not be able to achieve naturally. They are not the same, but it's fair to say that the drug is imitating a hormone you were built to produce. That's the key because it means the same food that feeds your gut also feeds the system that these medications are borrowing. It's the reason that the 5 things that I'm about to give you, they actually work. Number 1, protein first on every plate. When you lose weight fast, you don't just lose fat, you lose muscle too. The latest GLP-1 review in the New England Journal of Medicine flags the loss of muscle and bone as an open concern with these medications. Protein isn't optional. It's how you hold onto the muscle while the fat comes off. So here's the target that I want you to aim for. About 0.7 grams of protein per pound of your lean body mass, but that's across the entire day. For most people, that lands somewhere around 25 to 30 grams a meal, enough at each sitting to actually protect the muscle that you've got. The reason protein becomes a priority is that you're going to end up in a calorie deficit, which can easily translate into a protein deficit. Guess what happens in a protein deficit? Your body starts absorbing muscle to get the protein that it actually needs. And definitely, you do not need a slab of meat to hit that. A cup of tempeh is right around 30 grams on its own. A cup of lentils is about 18. And if you add a few tablespoons of hemp seeds, you get yourself up to 28 real quick. Tofu, edamame, black beans, chickpeas, a scoop of a clean plant protein, they stack up faster than people expect. Because you're eating less, every bite has to count. Put the protein on your plate first and eat it first before you're full and there's no room left. Number 2, Fiber, ease it in with water. The average American only gets about 15 grams of fiber per day. The target in women is 25. In men, it's 38. We're wildly deficient. And on these medications, that gap tends to get worse because you're full fast. And fiber is the first thing that falls off the plate. Less fiber moving into an already slowed colon is a recipe for constipation. But don't just dump a giant load of fiber into a slow gut overnight. That can totally backfire and it will leave you more bloated, not less. So I say add it gradually, a little bit more every couple days. And drink water alongside it because fiber actually needs water to do its job. Think about berries and beans, oats, chia, ground flax, vegetables, real food. Slow and steady is the game here. And a pro tip from me, a gastroenterologist, keep the bowels moving. Then add your fiber slowly. This is especially true on a GLP-1. Number 3, walk after your biggest meal. All you need is 10 stinking minutes. A short walk after eating helps your stomach empty, it steadies your blood sugar, and it actually takes the edge off of bloating and nausea. When your muscles are working, they pull glucose out of your blood, and gentle movement nudges a sluggish gut to keep things moving through. It sets your rhythm. This is the simplest, highest return thing on this list. Number 4, lift something, anything. Remember that muscle and bone concern? Protein gives your body the building blocks, but it doesn't automatically add them. It doesn't automatically build muscle. Resistance training is the signal that your body needs to actually keep the muscle growing and intact instead of burning it for fuel. You don't necessarily need an expensive gym. Resistance bands, they're so inexpensive. Like you can do body weight squats, you can do push-ups, you can do all kinds of different things using just your body weight. And if you were to add something, add a couple of dumbbells. Working out twice a week is a great place to start and it can change your trajectory while on these medications. Number 5, move slowly in both directions. Most of the gut trouble clusters in the first couple weeks after you start, and it can turn back up every single time that you switch to a higher dose. Climbing too fast is the single most common self-inflicted problem that I see, and coming off matters as well. You don't want to just stop suddenly. That can bring on the symptoms and the weight right back. When you're moving, move slowly, always in conjunction with your healthcare provider. You want them steering the ship. Patience on the ramp saves you months of feeling awful. Everything that I've just given you is free and it's the foundation. If you do those 5 things, you've done some incredible work to support your body while taking these medicines. But there's another thing that I have to mention. You got to keep the gut moving. And people are always wondering, hey, doc, like what do you personally reach for? So I'll tell you, and I'm excited about it because, look, I created these products myself. They fit perfectly for what we're trying to do here. The first is 38 Tera RCE, which stands for regularity and constipation ease. It includes a concentrated ginger that helps to relieve nausea and queasiness. There's magnesium oxide that helps to draw water in gently and keep things moving through for the constipation, the lower gut side. And Planabiotic, which is a next generation postbiotic that actually supports your gut microbiome through all of it. And RCE has a natural partner, DMN, Daily Microbiome Nutrition. RCE helps to get things moving, and DMN is the one that supports building a stronger microbiome underneath it. So I've given you the 5 things, they come first. But these 2 products, they add a ton, and they should be considered for those who could use them. You've probably heard people say these drugs wreck your gut bacteria. You may have also heard the exact opposite too, that they heal your gut. So which is it? The honest answer sits somewhere in the middle. These drugs do shift your gut bacteria. It's not particularly surprising. Anytime people lose weight, you're going to shift the gut bacteria. But importantly, this comes from animal studies. And what we see is that generally the shifts, they look good. More of the beneficial bugs, more short chain fatty acids, less inflammatory tone, but we have to acknowledge that that's mostly in mice. There isn't a single published human study on semaglutide in the microbiome yet. And a few animal studies actually did show lower gut diversity, which of course I don't love. So as we sit here today, they seem promising, but they're not yet proven. The drug definitely is acting on the gut. The bacteria are definitely shifting. But knowing exactly what that means for you, for your health, for your microbiome, for the long term, we're out in front of the science right now. So that's not me hedging. That's me respecting you enough to just call it like it is and tell you what's up. I feel like on some level, I've been telling you the downsides in terms of gut symptoms. If I just do that, I'm doing exactly what the internet always does. I'm only telling you half the story, but that's not really the case. There are benefits to these medications beyond weight loss. They've been shown to cut heart attacks and strokes, to slow kidney disease, to treat sleep apnea, and even reverse a form of liver disease. So this entire video, I don't want you to hear it and think it's anti-medication. I'm pro you. And what I'm saying to you is if you manage the gut and you keep the muscle, you can get the upside with far less of the misery. And a few hard lines: if you can't keep fluids down, if you have severe persistent belly pain, if your bowels feel stuck, you don't just push through those things, you call your doctor. And never stop or change your dose on your own. You always want to have those conversations with your prescriber. They're never solo decisions. If you're on one of these drugs and your gut has been a mess, you're not doing it wrong. You just haven't been given the playbook, but now you have it. Protein first, fiber slowly, walk after meals, lift something, go slow with the medication. All of them are in your hands starting with your next meal. The medication does part of the work. You fill it out and do the rest. That's the part that's yours. That's the part that lasts. If this helped, I'm asking you to subscribe. I just see so much noise and fear and miracle cures. I understand it is so confusing. And that's why I'm stepping up to give you the evidence-based information. And every time, I'm going to give you something you can actually do about it. And if you know someone who could use this video, share it with a friend. I know there's so many people out there that really need to hear this. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you next week.